Today, we have another issue that we're going to deal with, the Taiwan dollar versus the US dollar, and what it means to us. And believe it or not, it actually means a lot to us. This is the chart of the Taiwan dollar. It's down, it's like up to 129.18, I think, 13, which is about 9% in the last 4 or 5 days. 9%, that's the critical number, okay? So this surge in the Taiwan dollar is the most in 4 decades, so I believe it's a significant event. And then this all started because there were rumors last week that China was considering some type of trade deal with the United States. Now, why is it an issue for us? Well, Taiwan is a huge holder of U.S. assets, about 1.7 trillion, 295 billion of our government bonds, mostly the 10-year, all right? And unfortunately, it seems that the Taiwanese were not due diligent in covering the risk of currency and interest rates. So here we can see the mismatch in their assets and liabilities. And the top, the assets are in dollars, okay? And the liabilities are in the Taiwan dollar. So let's make it easier for say. Let's say the Taiwan dollar just went up 10%, okay, against the US dollar. So in reality, their liabilities just went up 10%, while their assets just went down 10%. And when you do it on $1.7 trillion, that's a lot of money. And you can see what they say. They have not hedged their foreign exposure. And you can stop and read this, especially the one down with the line. You know, it says that if the increase in the value of the Taiwan dollar, it could obliterate the finances of Taiwan's huge insurance industry. And to put it plainly, Taiwan's life insurance industry has bet its solvency with the support of the regulators on the assumption that Taiwan's central bank will be able to avoid a meaningful appreciation of the dollar. So that bet didn't take into account, obviously, that the Trump administration was going to go across the boards. Now, Taiwan has a $74 billion trade deficit with us. We buy their chips, right? That's what it really comes down to. And so, you know, what we're talking to these countries about, as you know, is like 20, 30% that we want their currencies to appreciate against the dollar. So think about what we just said. 10% is $170 billion. Now, think about it this way. Remember with UBS, when we talked about UBS? UBS's balance sheet is twice as big, more than twice as big as the GDP of Switzerland. Well, the insurance industry is 140% the size of the Taiwan GDP. And if you remember, I've done a video on the Asian flu when we talked about how we manage risk. And this could be very similar because look what's going on with the Korean won. It is going up right now. And we wonder, we're going to find out if they're hedged. Now, the Taiwan Central Bank is very similar to the SNB, and you can actually see that here. They say, after all, the local central bank can always create an infinite amount of its own currency and simply buy overseas assets with it vis-a-vis the Swiss National Bank, right? Just what we said. This situation, very similar to UBS in Switzerland. So what are the Swiss going to do? What are the Taiwanese going to do? They can't be seen weakening their own currency on purpose, especially when we're in negotiations with Trump right now. And what is Trump asking for? We don't know. Is it 10, 20, 30%? These people are starting to pile out of this already. So this could get so big in the sense of what does Taiwan do? So what are the options that Taiwan have in the life insurers? So I would imagine with the Taiwan dollar racing up and the dollar going down, the life insurers are already moving, right? They're starting to hedge. And you say, well, how do you hedge? Well, you buy the Taiwan dollar and you sell the dollar. Guess what? That's exactly what's happening. So then, you say, well, what about the bailout? If they can't get hedged enough, and obviously in 4 days, going up 9%, they're not going to get hedged really easily. So Taiwan then could print the dollars, as we said, the Taiwanese dollar, and give it to the life insurers, a bailout. Problem with this is, of course, is that they would have raging inflation, right? Be just like the Swiss National Bank printing the money to bail out UBS. So that's not really an issue or a solution. And then you could say, well, maybe they can now drive down the Taiwanese dollar. Well, I don't know where they are in negotiations with the Trump administration, but when Trump is basically forcing everybody to drive up their currencies and drive down the dollar, I can't believe that they would be too happy with that. And they're looking at how much tariff you have to pay based on where your currency is, your defense, we defend them, and all this other stuff. What are we going to charge them? And that's how Trump looks at it. So what do they do there, right? So they can't drive down their currency. So is it going to be a mixture? Do they print some Taiwanese dollars to give to the life insurers while the life insurers continue to try to hedge their position? Do they hold off on any deal with the Trump administration until they can allow their life insurance industry to kind of figure it all out? We're in times that none of us have ever been in, so no one knows, right? The other thing that's happening is this could cause an Asian flu, and the Asian flu would be that all the other countries' currencies will start racing up. So the yuan, we know what's going on in the yen, but the yen could get really frothy, okay? And other currencies like Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, all of them could get attacked this way. And so, how do you say this? They all own U.S. securities, and they're going to need liquidity to fight the battle that's coming because of what's going on. And so that means one thing. They have to liquidate something. What are they going to liquidate? Do they liquidate the securities in the biggest, most liquid market in the world, U.S. Treasuries? Do they liquidate corporate bonds? Do they print money and cause major inflation in their country? I don't know. What do you think? What would you do if you were Taiwan in this situation? Tell me in the comments and like and follow. And thank you for following me.